Hey guys, welcome back to What's the Formula? So I finally finished up these ones. Now you may have seen this person before, so I'm actually gonna introduce a new one as well, but I did touch up on Venis using decals. I went with more of a cracked looking V kind of because he did have that in Day of Reckoning 1. It was more of a red. So ultimately it was because it's really hard to place a decal on the keister without it crinkling a little bit, simply because of the way it's formed. But it used to be silver only, so I'm happy with it. Sealed it, shiny, perfect looking. Nope, today's formula is going to be this individual, Cade. Now, I originally made him with just red trunks and cowboy boots. I was going to call him just Garrison Cade. And then I started doing the decals. Some decals I got really well. This one's a little more challenging, especially, again, the keister area. Anytime you're putting something near, it takes up pretty much the whole buttocks, if you will. You have to deal with that little divot right there. And so this one worked pretty well. A little bit of an air bubble in there, but I've sealed it over 3 times now. It does work for what it is. It was a very basic, generic attire, but this is what he wore when he was teaming with Trevor Murdoch. Literally, this is the Jax figure just redone into an ultimate style. So, I mean, the head's Jax, obviously, too, as well. Nobody's made a custom short-haired Cade face sculpt yet. If they do, I might get that and then proceed to do his more white Cade lettering solo run. But for now, this works really well. Yeah, you're seeing Heath, Slater in the back. Literally, I used a Ric Flair torso, and I put the decals, the tattoos on there. Again, they've been sealed. Different people told me I should have cut the tattoos first. Someone told me I should just let it dry and harden and then take a scalpel or X-Acto knife and cut the tattoos so the arms swivel a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, he's got his double joint or single jointed arms because I decided to use the wrist tape, and originally it was just missing the shoulder tats. But I decided to wrap the whole thing there just to kind of give it more of that look for Heath Slater and keep the long wrist tape. So, back to Cade though. So with Cade, it's very simple. I use a Terry Funk torso. Originally, I wasn't even breaking apart Terry Funk, and then I did separate it. I put it onto a Bradshaw lower, painted it black first, sealed it, then sealed it a second time, then applied the decals. The boots were George Steele, which I had the boots lying around because I made the Trevor Murdoch. I had the extra George Steele boots. So I just popped them on there. So they are ultimate toes. You can see the toe pivot right there. So he is basically, all intents and purposes, an ultimate minus a Jax head. Jax head, of course, you can find your Cades on eBay at this point. They're not going to be in stores anywhere. Relatively cheap unless you find like one of those diehard mock collectors or someone who really feels like their figures because of how old they are. And you can see there's a little bit of obviously a differential in the skin tone a little bit. But from afar, can you really tell? Kind of, but at the same time, it's as close as you can get without going to a customizer to paint it. Mind you, these are older figures. This is a different style of paint used from Mattel to Jax. So, there is a Tanner, I think, head out there, but then that would mean you need like a Macho Man torso. So, again, from afar, I don't notice really a difference. I mean, Slater links up perfectly, just like Val. Val, sometimes these work really well. Like, if we look at Val real quick, we can see, again, it's a Jax head. I might look into an ultimate, or a custom ultimate, or bleh, custom painted head in the future, see if it does any different. But really, these look great from afar on a shelf. I can't tell the difference. And then for the heck of it, because I already mentioned this one as well, I finished up Nunzio. So I decided to keep the deluxe head because I like that one better. I put the decal tattoo on there, the FBI. I might carefully touch up on that red a little bit and make that more, again, working on the keister area. If it's not the upper part, if it's actually like the lower middle section, you're going to have to deal with the fact that it's going to have to be molded in a shape. Now, I've used Micro Soul as well as Set to kind of help air out these air bubbles, and this one did a really good job, I feel like. I think the only thing I might have lost a little bit of crinkling over here in the Italian. I mean, I literally could just wipe over that. It wouldn't matter. Because it's only FBI. I remember him really wrestling with the FBI initials more than the full-blood Italian section. But it works for what it is. When I make Stamboli, I may add the decal to him. I'm probably gonna add the decal to Chuck Palumbo when I'm done building him, waiting for the head to arrive. But simple. I originally had this on Terry Funk body. I switched the head out and put it on a Stone Cold because it's skinnier torso. And then I proceeded to use, whose boots did I use? They're not George Steele's. They're not. I think they're like a Kurt Angle boot. I believe it was a Kurt Angle boot I used, Elite style. Obviously, when Stone Cold, you have to switch out the legs, so I did switch those out for shorter legs, giving him a shorter build. And I mean, if you ever saw Nunzio wrestle, he was very skinny. You know, obviously, this is as skinny as you can go in the Ultimate line. There is no skinnier torso that would work other than, you know, a Rey Mysterio torso, but that's way too tan and way too much work and just not the right build at all. So, but height-wise, I mean, Cade was a big guy. Val was a big guy. Nunzio was a smaller guy. So I feel like I'm definitely getting the heights down as best I can. Somebody told me why I decided to do this again, because it's limited on the torsos. I don't know. I took apart in Ultimate. I took apart in Elite, and Elite were more difficult to take apart. And Ultimates allow you with the butterfly joints. For the most part, it's a torso swap and a lower half swap. When you're really customizing guys, that's when you have to get creative, and that's when you have to figure out the formulas. So, like, right now, these guys are all pretty much done. I can move on to Canyon and Jerry Lynn and Al Snow, and other people as well. Last night I was looking up other formulas for potential people like Magnus and James Storm. No decals for Crimson, so he's definitely one that's interesting if I can figure it out. Of course, the head sculpt is there. So there's just so many more guys. Obviously, the goal is by the time I turn 38, I have converted as many people as I can into the Ultimate figure set. And I know I'm doing a different format. I'm trying something different here. Just use my cell phone. I feel like it's just a little helpful because I can just move over and show off the figures better. And then just a sneak peek, when his head arrives, I will be doing a full what's the formula on this one. Marcus Corvon. Till next time.